On his return to Castile in July 1507, Ferdinand would meet with his daughter, Joanna at Hornillos in Castile at the end of the month. Joanna would be forced to relinquish her powers over the kingdoms of Castile and Leon to her father. She would remain in the position of queen by name only. Joanna would be imprisoned by her father, after he had dismissed all her servants at the royal palace in Tordesillas near Valladolid in Castile in February 1509. It is around this time that her sanity was called into question, as she would keep her husband's corpse, Philip, close to her at Tordesillas. Joanna's father, Ferdinand, would pass away on the 23rd of January 1516. Joanna's son, the 17-year-old Charles I, would arrive in Spain in October the 15th to the 17th. In name, Joanna and Charles would co-rule Castile, Leon, and Aragon, but no one at court would take seriously Joanna's claim to rule. Joanna at this time would also remain in confinement at Tordesillas. Charles I would initially rule the kingdoms of Spain, unifying them with the Holy Roman Empire, a union which would last until the 18th century. Although Charles' personal union with the Holy Roman Empire would be dissolved and he would rule Spain alone, whilst his brother Ferdinand would rule the Holy Roman Empire. During 1520, the country of Spain would be once again in turmoil, as the Comuneros, Catholics in Spain, who would revolt against Charles I, perceiving him as a Habsburg threat from the Holy Roman Empire over the Spanish kingdom. The Comuneros sought Joanna's support to solidify and legalize their claim. The Bishop of Toledo, Don Antonio de Rojas Manrique, attempted to prevent this by trying to get Joanna to denounce the revolt. Joanna would be eventually persuaded not to support the revolt as it would damage both the country and her son's claim to the throne. Charles I would eventually defeat the Comuneros at the Battle of Villala. After the battle, Charles would completely dominate Spain and would have his mother confined for the rest of her life at Tordesillas. Her imprisonment would lead to paranoia, as she believed that the nuns that were caring for her were trying to kill her. This led to her being unable to eat, sleep, wash or to change her clothes. Joanna's physical state would also soon decline rapidly. She would pass away on Good Friday, the 12th of April 1555 at the age of 75 at her place of confinement for over 45 years at the royal palace of Tordesillas. She would be buried alongside her husband, Philip I, and both her parents, Isabella I and Ferdinand II, in the Royal Chapel of Granada. Joanna would always been remembered in history as Joanna the Mad, but there are historians who argued that this is not the case. In her youth, she was always regarded as a very intelligent young lady, but it is not until her marriage to Philip the Handsome that her mental state came into question. There are those that believe that her condition was manipulated by both her father and her husband as an attempt to alienate her in order to control Spain.